It's very important to recognize the achievements of women in this field. The more I read about astronomy and the folks who have contributed to it, the more I realize that women's achievements have been downplayed for a very long time.
It's commonly known as a male dominant field, which just disheartens many of us from actually just diving into the field, no matter how much it actually excites us.
As you progress through academia, I've noticed there are less and less female researchers. In some universities, that's not the case, but I would like to see more representation, especially as you go up.
One aspect that I really hope to see is the ability to be treated equally among the academic wise.
Despite this field having a lot of women in it, I don't feel like there is a lot of women in it yet.
There's certain fields in astronomy I know, and I've been warned that it's going to be hard to enable women to enter this field. Others have had more progression than others, but I know for like more theoretical or even like cosmology, some certain fields, it can be sort of wishy-washy, like maybe be careful, maybe be more cautious.
Most of my mentors have been relatively welcoming, and I've had women who I can look up to, but that is not the case for everyone. I certainly know that that's not the case for everyone.
And it's just something surprising because I've seen a lot of kids who won't come to me because I'm a woman, and they won't come to me because they don't think I'm an expert enough in the field, and they'll go to a male coworker instead.
We're not maybe what you would imagine as someone and as an astronomer or an astrophysicist, and sometimes that does leak into our experiences and our opportunities.
And lots of people have subconscious biases too. So yeah, one example is I've been told a couple times that my being ambitious is a flaw. I don't think that's true. I also don't know how many men get told that, but I would guess not as many.
There's always this competitiveness that I need to be better than you. I need to do more than you. Sometimes women get barred out of these conversations, or they're not involved in this research, or they're not able to do as much. And I think there doesn't need to be any competitiveness like that.
I think in education and academia as a whole, understanding that, that we're not all in the same seasons of life.
I also want to see more support in women in our field having families, because there's a lot of negativity, I feel like, that women come up against when they want children, but also are scientists.
Someone like myself who is starting into this career late, my kids are still little. And so my ability to focus only on my schooling is not something that I'm able to do. It's a balance. It's finding that work-life balance.
And we shouldn't feel the need to choose one or the other. We're perfectly, capable of being parents in any way, shape, or form, and doing our jobs. We have enough love in our hearts for both.
I want young women to be more confident in their abilities and knowledge. And I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to, have this kind of identity crisis at this stage. And I don't want us to have that identity crisis. And I want to be confident in our knowledge and ability to contribute to this field positively.
It's important to note that even though this is the 21st century, there is still a big gender gap in this field. And so there might be young girls who would think that, oh, well, I like astronomy, but there aren't a lot of people like me in this field, so I don't want to continue going in. But if we start recognizing the achievements of women in this field, well, then they would see those women and think, but she did it, so I can do it.
We should encourage young girls, or just anyone really, to consider pursuing physics. They don't have to, because obviously not everyone wants to, but it should be an option, and it should be something that young people can consider, even if they don't know anyone or they don't have anyone in their family that did a STEM degree.
But it's so important to have that environment where one can speak their mind and one can pursue what they want to. So change of that environment, definitely. And yeah, I feel like that's the way to get rid of the structural bias in a certain way as well.
I would love to see that change where we're not having to be fighting certain lawsuits and certain systemic issues. We should already be at a position where we were heard and credited for our work.
And we shouldn't feel guilty about anything that we do in our personal lives.
I think there's been a lot of really good changes for women. At the same time, there's always more that can be done.
You